Hi friends, Namaskar, good morning. I'm happy to meet you all in this yet another episode of Monday Mantra. My grandfather was an amazing person who taught me values in life. When I was a small boy, one day he was sitting and reading newspaper in his easy chair. Suddenly he called out for me. There was an urgency in his voice and I went running towards him. I saw a very big ant with a sting almost as the size of a small scorpion was still biting his leg, and a few drops of blood could be seen on the big finger. The ant was not leaving the hold. When I was about to crush it, grandfather shouted at me, "Hey, don't do that, it may die." Just to slowly relieve the ant from its hold, let it go. With a lot of reluctance, I slowly pulled out the ant and it moved off. My Tata is so dear to me. I told him, when it has taken so much of your blood, it should have been killed. But what my grandfather told me that day was a great eye-opener for me for the rest of my life. Hey Raju, see what? Am I dead now because of the ant's bite? But if I had chosen to even mildly punish that ant, it would have died. If at all you wanted to punish it, you could at most cause only that little pain proportionate to its size compared to my size and my pain. Even your effort to slowly relieve it from the body was itself a great agony for the ant. You have no right to cause any injury to any life, he said. My God, what a great advice. Remember, in Shakespeare's last play, The Tempest, there was a shipwreck due to the tempest created by Prospero. And Miranda, the heroine of the play, says to her father, I have suffered with those that I saw suffer. Being a very kind-hearted person, Miranda suffered because she empathized with the suffering of those people on board the ship caught in the wild tempest. Tamil saint Vallalar went one step further and said, "Vaadiya payire kandabodellam vaadineen," meaning he was sad and dried up himself whenever he saw tender plants withering without nourishment, like frail people yearning for food. So he created dharmshalas to distribute food for all those who came hungry. This is what is empathy. Friends, empathy is the ability to understand the pain and sufferings of other persons, ready to share their feelings, putting yourself in their place to understand what they are truly feeling and experiencing. It's a process of understanding correctly the other person's problems, their situations, their inner conflicts and emotions from their standpoint. No matter what you do, whether in business, profession, or in personal life, empathy is the most needed quality to judge people and situations correctly. I would even say that lack of empathy is the main reason for many of our failures in life. Suppose you are a businessman, you empathize with your suppliers, clients, understand their problems, acknowledge and appreciate the difficult conditions in business. Perhaps you may even relax some of the repayment terms. This will pave way for a thriving business relationship. In professional context, empathizing with your colleagues, your subordinates, and your boss will reduce a lot of stress. It will help building cohesive teams to increase productivity and revenues and so on. Empathy is the key in any conflict resolution. That is why business leaders and managers these days create more empathic environments at workplaces. Similarly, you empathize with your friend or a relative who is in difficult times and you extend timely help to them. This makes the bondage of relationship much stronger, though it is an essential human trait. Yet some people lack empathy because they are wired that way. They're brought up, circumstances, belief systems, and the perspectives they hold on to themselves are such that they are insensitive to others' feelings and emotions. They are always restless, aggressive, and indifferent, and they simply can't connect to the feelings of others. I know how difficult it is to deal with people who lack empathy when you are a sensitive and caring person. But the good news is that empathy can be cultivated and developed through conscious effort and practice over a period of time. Neuroscience and psychology, they hold evidence to the fact that all humans are biologically programmed to connect with each other. When you express your emotions or observe others expressing their emotions, the mirror neurons in the brain, they get activated. And you also get the same feeling of joy, pain, distress or sadness as of the other person. That is precisely why seeing a crying child, another child also starts crying. And this is basically the biocognition and the feeling of empathy which is inbuilt in our system. Empathy is so special because it is a multi-dimensional trait. It involves the fineness of your mind, your heart, body and spirit all at once, and it is experiential. It is very interesting to note when you understand the other person's thoughts, situations, problems and their concerns, you show cognitive empathy, a function of the left hemisphere of your brain. And when you sincerely feel the feelings, pains and emotions of the other person as to how the other person would feel in difficult situations, then you show emotional empathy, which is a function of the right hemisphere of your brain. And when you actually take action with love, kindness and compassion to help the person, then your empathy becomes the experiential and integrated function of all the humanness. Friends, it is one of the finest qualities of human being, this empathy. Empathy in mind is understanding. Empathy at heart is love. Empathy in motion is service. Empathy in accomplishment is philanthropy. So do whatever possible and whatever manner possible to reduce the pains and sufferings of other human beings by being empathetic. There cannot be greater service to mankind than to be a source of solace to the fellow beings at times of need. So let us cultivate empathy and become superfine human beings always. Happy living and good luck.